Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unusual Grace channel. You are watching God Speaks. Recently, you would have heard, if you have been following in the news in Jamaica or even been on this channel, we would have seen where there was an unusual or strange or bizarre experience at the Oberlin High School as a result of a devotional exercise that was carried out, and a teacher had a word and all of that. It opened up a conversation about putting in protocols or guidelines as it relates to how devotions are to be conducted within public institutions or even private, but within schools in particular. So the conversation continues. This organization, Choose Life International, recently had a webinar. And in that webinar, they had a very fulsome, balanced discussion. They had the deliverance ministers on, the pastors on, and the psychologists on, along with medical doctors. And they had a fulsome conversation looking at the different perspectives and so on. Oh, yes. And this veteran educator that I just want you to hear what she says. Stay tuned.
I was overseas when the situation at Oberlin took place, so I was following what was happening largely through the news media, But I was very concerned because I was very concerned when I read that the Minister of Education made a statement that they're going to seek to give guidance to devotions in school, and also that school is not the place for these type of religious or spiritual things to be taught, but that parents are responsible for taking their children to church and teaching them these things. And I was very disturbed by that, because if we know the history of education in Jamaica, that what the schools that are really regarded as the top schools in Jamaica were schools that were started by the church and, of course, a trust fund. And I thought also that we live in a country where there are so many dysfunctional families. I used to do this exercise when I was at Arden. Every year when the grade 7 students came in, I would ask, how many of you go to Sabbath school or to Sunday school? And every year the number diminished. So less and less children are being exposed to Sunday school, to the teaching of the Bible, where they would learn spiritual values and learn about Jesus Christ and the teaching of Jesus Christ. It would build a foundation. Even if they don't become Christians, it was a foundation for morality, for ethics, and of course a spiritual foundation. I'm very disturbed about that. Also, in schools across Jamaica, these type of things have happened over the year. The difference is we now have social media, things being captured on camera, being put out there. You don't have the full picture of what is happening. For instance, in the 70s, there was a school-wide, a number of schools where there was a revival in the schools. And many of those persons now are leaders in the society who are strong Christians here and abroad because of that move of the Spirit across high schools in Jamaica. Places like Jamaica College, places like Kingston College, Wolmer's, Excelsior, Meadowbrook High School, Arden. It went down to Hampton High School. In addition, when I was vice principal at St. Andrew High School, we had to deal with issues of demonic occurrence in the school. Mrs. Sharon Reed, who was just retired principal from St. Andrew, and I used to have to deal with this. We also heard about the situation over at Holy Childhood, where the children were playing Ouija board and fire was coming up through the library. when I was at Arden, I had to deal with deliverance. In one situation, Donald would remember I had to send for him, assist me to deal with one particularly difficult situation. We have at Arden Christian Emphasis Week every year. And in that space, so many students get to have an encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ, apart from having normal devotions. So I want to say we have to be very careful, because we do have people in the society who are holding on to this and saying, we need to have openness, and therefore we should not be requiring children to go to Christian devotions and this. So we have to be careful and realize that the naysayers are there ready to hold on to this and to make quite a big thing out of it, more than it really is. Because what I'm saying, it is not unusual over years in schools, but it is the social media aspect of it that has blown this whole thing up. So I want to share that.
I could not have said it any better. Take heed, leaders, and I so appreciate her perspective, her experience, and she is a Christian. Leave the devotions in school. Believers, we need to continue to pray. Thank you so much. This is a short one. I just had to let you hear her speak, and I trust that you have been blessed. Until next time, always remember, God speaks.